Namaste. Today I'm going to read Book 12, Chapter 9 on the cause of Shraddha in other devas than the Devi Gayatri in the Maha Devi Bhagavatam. Om Vakratu Namahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirveganam Kurim Savakaya. Om Ekaratai Vakru. Yadevi Sam. Hari Om Tat Sat. Vyasa said, O King Janamajaya, once on a time, on account of an evil turn of fate, karma, of the human beings, Indra did not reign on this earth for 15 years. Owing to want of rain, the famine appeared horribly, and almost all the beings lost their lives. No one could count in every house the number of the dead persons. Out of hunger, the people began to eat horses. Some began to eat bears and pigs. Some began to eat the dead bodies, while some others carried on anyhow their lives. The people were so much distressed with hunger that the mother did not refrain from eating her baby child, and the husband did not refrain from eating his wife. O king, the Brahmanas then united, and after due discussion came to the conclusion that they would go to the hermit Gautama, who would be able to resolve their distress. So all of them wanted to go quickly to the hermitage of the Muni Gautama. They began to say, we hear that there is no famine in the hermitage of Gautama. Various persons are running there from various quarters. Thus, coming to a conclusion, the Brahmanas went to the Gautama's ashram with their cows, servants, and relations. Some went from the east, some from the south, some from the west, and some from the north. Thus, from various quarters, the people flocked there. Seeing the Brahmanas coming there, the Rishi Gautama bowed down to them and gave them a cordial welcome and served them with seats, etc. When all took their seats and became calm and quiet, Gautama inquired about their welfare and the cause of their arrival. They described everything about the dire famine and their own states and expressed their deep regret. Seeing them very much distressed, the Muni gave them word not to have any fear. He said, I am today become blessed by the arrival of the great ascetics and honorable persons like you. I am your servant. You consider all my houses as yours. Be quite comfortable. Bear no uneasiness. When your servant is alive, what fear do you entertain, and whom do you fear? When the demerits are transformed into good merits by your mere sight, and when you have blessed my house with the dust of your holy feet, then who is more blessed than me? O Vipras, kindly perform your sandhyas and japams and rest here at ease. Vyasa said, O King Janamajaya, thus consoling the Brahmanas, the Rishi Gautama began to worship the Gayatri Devi with rapt devotional trance. O Devi Gayatri, obeisance to thee. Thou art the great Vidya, the mother of the Vedas, higher than the highest. Thou art Vyarhiti, represented by the mantra Om Bhurbhuva Svaha. O Mother, thou art the state of equilibrium, i.e. the Turiya. Thou art of the form of Hrim. Thou art Svaha and Svadha. Thou grantest the desires of the bhaktas. Thou art the witness of the three states, Jagrat, waking, Svatna, dreaming, and Susupti, deep sleep. Thou art the Turiya and Satchitananda Brahma. O Devi, thou resident in the solar orb and appearest as a ruddy girl in the morning, and youthful maiden at noon, and a black old woman in the evening. O Devi, obeisance to thee. now show favor on us at this severe famine time, when all the beings are well nigh on the way to destruction. Thus praised and worshipped, the World Mother appeared and gave to the Rishi one vessel cup, full to the brim, by which everyone can be fed and nourished. The mother told the Muni, "This full vessel given by me to you will yield whatever you wish." Thus saying, the Devi Gayatri, higher than the highest, vanished. Then, according to the wish of the Muni, came out from that cup mountains of cooked rice, various curries and sweet meats, lots of grass and fodder, silken clothings, various ornaments and various articles, and vessels for sacrificial purposes. In fact, whatever the Muni Gautama wished, that came out of the brimful cup, given by the Devi Gayatri. Then the Muni Gautama called the other Munis that came there and gave them wealth, grains, clothing, ornaments, and the sacrificial ladles, and spoons, and cows, and buffaloes for the sacrificial purposes. The Munis then assembled and performed various yagnas. The place all round then flourished and became so much prosperous that it looked like a second heaven. In fact, whatever fair and beautiful there exists in the Trilokas, all came from the brimful cup given by the Devi Gayatri. At this time, the Munis, with sandal paste all over their bodies and decorated with very bright ornaments, looked like the gods, and their wives looked like goddesses. Daily utsavs began to be held in the ashrama of Gautama. Nowhere were seen any diseases or dacoits, and there was no fear from any such things. Gradually, the ashrama's boundary extended to 100 yojanas, 400 miles. Hearing this greatness of Gautama, many persons came there from various quarters, and the Muni Gautama too gave them words, cast away fear, and fed them. The Devas, on the other hand, became very much satisfied by the various yagnas and extolled the Muni's greatness, so much so that the famous Indra, the lord of the Devas, came in the midst of the assembly and extolled his greatness. Thus, this Gautama has fulfilled all our wishes and has verily become a kalpavriksha, celestial tree, yielding all desires. If this man had not done such things in this hard famine time, we would not have got the Havi offered in sacrifices, and the prospect of our lives would have been at stake. O King Janamejaya, thus the Muni Gautama fed and nourished for 12 years all the Munis, like his sons, and that place came to be recognized as the chief center, the headquarters of the Gayatri Devi. Even today, all the Munis perform with devotion the Purash Charanams and worship thrice the Bhagavati Gayatri Devi. Even today, the Devi is there, seen as a girl in the morning, as a youthful maiden at noon, and as an old woman in the evening. Then, once on a time, Narada, of best conduct, came there, playing on his great lute and singing in tune the highest glories of Gayatri, and took his seat in the assembly of the Munis. Seeing the tranquil-hearted Narada coming there, Gautama and the other Munis received him duly and worshipped him with the Padya and Argya. In course of conversation, he began to describe the glories of Gautama and said, "O best of Munis, I have heard from the mouth of Indra in the assembly of the Devas your glories as to your supporting and feeding the pure-hearted Munis. And I have come to see you. By the grace of Sri Bhagavati Gayatri Devi, you have now become blessed. There is no doubt in this." Thus saying, O Devarishi Narada entered into the temple of the Devi Gayatri, and with eyes gladdened by love saw the Devi there, and offered due hymns in praise of her, and then ascended to the heavens. Here, on the other hand, the Brahmanas that were fed by Gautama became jealous at so much honor offered to Gautama, and tried their best so that no further honor be paid to him. They further settled not to stay any longer in his ashrama when the next good harvest season comes. Thus his glories will wane. O king, some days passed when good rains fell, and there was an abundance of crops everywhere. And the famine ended. Hearing this, all the Brahmanas united. Alas, O king, to curse the Gautama. Oh, their fathers and mothers are blessed, in whom do not arise such feelings of jealousy. This all is the wonderful play of the powerful time. It cannot be expressed by any person. O king, these Brahmins created by Maya an aged cow who was to die and pushed her in the sacrificial hall of the Muni Gautama at the time of the Homa ceremony. Seeing that cow entered into the enclosure where the Homa was being performed, Gautama cried out, "Hum, hum," when the cow fell there and died. And the other Brahmanas instantly cried out, "Look, look, the wicked Gautama has killed a cow." Seeing this inconceivable event, Gautama was greatly nonplussed, and completing his Homa ceremony, entered into Samadhi and began to think the cause of it. Then coming to know that this has been concocted by the Maya of the Brahmins, he became angry like Rudra at the time of dissolution. His eyes were reddened and he cursed the rishis. Thus, O vile Brahmins, when you are ready to cause mischief to me unjustly, then let you be adverse to meditate and do the japam of the Devi Gayatri, the mother of the Vedas. For your this act, never you will be eager to perform any Vedic sacrifice, any Vedic sacrificial acts, or any action concerning thereof. There's no doubt in this. You will be always averse to the mantra of Shiva or the tantra of Shiva. You will always averse the Mula Prakriti, Sri Devi, to her Dhyana mantra, to any conversation regarding her, to the visiting of her place or temple, to do worship and other ceremonies to her, to see the grand festivals of the Devi, to singing the names and glories of the Devi, to sit before the Devi and to adore her. O vile Brahmanas, you will be always averse to see the festivals of Shiva, to worship Shiva, to Rudraksha, to the bay leaves, and to the holy Bhasma, ashes. You will be wholly indifferent to practice the right ways of living as presented in the Vedas and Smritis, to preserve your conduct good and to observe the path of knowledge, to Advaitya Jnanam, to practice restraint of senses and continence, to the daily practices of Sandhya Bhandanam, to perform the Agnihotra ceremonies, to the study of the Vedas according to one's own Sakhya, or to the daily studies thereof as to teach those things, or to give as gifts, cows, etc., or to perform the Shraddhas of the fathers, etc., or to perform Krichra, Chandrayana, and other penances. O vile Brahmanas, as you are ready to do these mean things, you will have to suffer for this, that you will desist from worshipping the most adorable Sri Bhagavati Devi, and that you will worship the other devas with faith and devotion, and hold on your bodies Samkhya, Chakra, and other signs. You will follow the Kapilakas, Bauddha Sastras, and other heretics. You will sell your father, mother, brothers, sisters, sons, and daughters, and even your wives too. You will sell the Vedas, Tirthas, and your Dharma. You will not feel ashamed in any way to sell all these. You will certainly have faith in Kapalika and Bauddha opinions, Pancharatras and Kamasastras. O vile Brahmanas, you will not hesitate to go to your mother, daughters, or sisters, and you will always be licentious with others. wives, and spend your time in that. This is not to you only, but to the women and men. All that will come in your families, let the Gayatri Devi be always indignant with you, and let you all go in the end to the Andakupa hells, etc. Vyasa said, O Janamajaya, thus taking the water, symbolizing the true rules and laws of creation, and cursing the Brahmanas, the Muni Gautama went hastily to see the Gayatri Devi, and on arriving at the temple there, bowed down to her. The Devi too became surprised to see their actions. O king, even today her lotus face looks similarly astonished. Then the Gayatri Devi told Gautama with amazement, O Gautama, the venom of the snake does not become less if you feed the serpents with milk. So never mind all these things. The karmas take their peculiar times, peculiar turns. It is hard to say when will happen what things. Now be peaceful, do not be sorry. Hearing these words of the Devi, Gautama bowed down to her and went thence to his own ashrama. Here, on the other hand, the Brahmanas forgot everything due to the curse of Gautama, of the Vedas and the Gayatri Mantra. They then began to look at this event with wonder as unique and extraordinary. All united, they afterwards repented and going before Gautama fell prostrate at his feet. But they could not speak any word out of shame. Only they said frequently, be pleased with us. When all the assembly of the Brahmanas prayed to him for favor and grace, the Muni Gautama took pity on them and replied, my word will never turn out false. You will have to remain in Kumbhipaka hell up to the time when Sri Krishna will take his incarnation. Then you will be born in the earth in the Kali age, and whatever I have uttered will exactly come unto you. And if you are in earnest to avert my curse, then go and worship the lotus feet of Sri Gayatri Devi. There is no other remedy. Vyasa said, thus dismissing the Brahmanas, Gautama Muni thought that all these occurred as a result of Prarabdha karma, and he became calm and quiet. For this reason, after Sri Krishna Maharaja ascended to the heavens, when the Kali age came, those cursed Brahmanas got out of the Kumbhipaka hell and took their births in this earth as Brahmins, devoid of the three Sandhyas, devoid of the devotion of Gayatri, devoid of faith in the Vedas, advocating the heretics' opinions, and unwilling to perform Agnihotra and other religious sacrifices and duties, and they were devoid of Svadha and Swaha. They forgot entirely the unmanifested Mula Prakriti, Bhagavati. Some of them began to mark on their bodies various heretical signs, example, Tapta Mudra, etc. Some became Kapalikas, some became Kaulas, some Bauddhas, and some Jnanis. Jainas. Many of them, though learned, became lewd and addicted to others' wives and engaged themselves in vain and bad disputations. For these they will have to go again surely to the Kumbhipaka hell. So, O king, worship with your heart and soul Sri Bhagavati Parameshwari Devi. The worship of Vishnu or Shiva is not constant to be done every day. Only the worship of Shakti is to be constantly performed. For this reason, whoever does not worship Shakti is sure to fall. Thus I have answered all your questions. Now I shall describe the highest and most beautiful place, Manidvipa, of the primal force Bhagavati, the deliverer from this bondage of world. Listen. Here ends the 9th chapter of the 12th book on the cause of Shraddha in other devas than the Devi Gayatri in the Mahapuranam, Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Vedvyasa. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Pani Durga Kashma Shipatatri Swasma. Om Jaitu Om Devi Chamani Shiparadi. Shiva Sarvate Sandasham. Om Tuya Mata Chabitatu. Dravinam Tuya Tuya Savarman. Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.